Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Vialet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet Rayne, and today's guest is Jessica Stokes. She is a writer, healer, facilitator, weaving together labyrinth work, movement arts, and spiritual practice. She's the creator of Belly Yoga, a playful blend of breath, movement, and joy, inspired by belly dance. Jessica co-leads labyrinth retreats, weekly dance classes, embodiment workshops that help people release the past, connect with their inner wisdom, and step into authentic expression. With training in stone medicine, energy healing, and sacred ritual, she brings warmth, creativity, and depth to all that she offers. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
Well, I know that you do belly dance at the center, and I also hear people talk to you when you talk about belly dance, and they're like, "Oh, I'm curious and interested, but I don't know that I can do that. I don't know that that's for me." So I've also heard your responses in the past. So share with us a little bit what you would tell somebody that's a little hesitant but very curious.
Yeah, so many folks have a lot of hangups about coming to a dance class, coming to something that they think is going to require them to be really flexible or really have a lot of rhythm or have a lot of experience. And my whole perspective is that it's not about how much skills you have in any kind of dance, but to get women together and teach them and show them how to be in their bodies and connect them with themselves and love themselves. So there's too much times in which we get messages of that trigger a lot of shame or fear or reasons that we don't want to show our body. I've had everything from people say, well, let me lose weight first, and then I'll come to your dance class. And my response is, this is a perfect way to start to lose weight, if that's what your hang up is.
Well, movement is so important, especially in today's world where most of us sit the majority of the day, or we're on our computers, or we're on our electronic devices. Share with us a little bit of the benefits of being and moving and being in our body.
Yeah, so the benefit of, and specifically with my classes, is that when we go, we all know, or we know that movement is good for us, right? Exercise is good for us. If we're getting on a Peloton bike or if we're taking walks or whatever, it's good for us. It's good for our cardiovascular. As we age, it's good to just be moving our bodies. And like you said, Violet, we're so in not just like sitting a lot of times, we're also really in our head if we're on our phones or on our computers, or we just get really up in our head. So being in our bodies and just grounding ourselves and connecting with our bodies is a really good way to get out of our brain and get and feel what else is going on in ourselves. The movement, and for women particularly as we age, not even as we age, all the time, being connected and specifically really connecting with our core, at our abdominal muscles and our, the chakra systems, the energy systems, our first and second chakra. It's about getting in our body and getting connected and just feeling the earth and the ground.
What about those individuals that are older, that are really afraid that they're not flexible enough? Is that one of the requirements, is to be able to do that in your classes?
Absolutely not. So we have a range, and actually one of the things that attracted me really specifically to this kind of movement, and I've been teaching and playing with dance my entire life. For this particular, for belly dance, it's been about the past 20 years. But one of the things that I was struck with once my history before that had been in modern dance, and then I was a cheerleader and even swing dancing, and there was definitely a look about people that they were often very, very fit, very slim, very like ballet dancers have this really very beautiful look to them. And I stepped into a dance class, and I have a funny story about how I started this movement that I'll tell you in a second. But I was amazed by how different the age range was and the shapes and types and bodies. So there was this young girl that was probably 14 or 15 in the class. And then there were some women that were well into their 60s and 70s. And then as I started to become more a part of the community, I would start to see people perform or just what else was happening in the community. And it was such a range, and it was so empowering and so wonderful to see this really multi-generational dance form that you can do well into whatever's going on with your body. And oftentimes it helps. There's also always modification that can happen. You can do this whole movement sitting in a chair. So the other benefit about the class that we have is that there's no mirrors. So that's a thing that people often are like a little bit intimidated to go into a studio or feel like there's a special thing you have to wear or a way to look, and there's no mirrors. So this is not about even looking at your other people. This is just about being in your body and connecting with yourselves. And I bring all kinds, it's like dress up too, because I bring a bunch of hip wraps and everybody puts on a hip wrap and everybody gets to like choose their color and how much noise it makes, and it's really fun. So it's kind of like playing with your girlfriend, or you're like when you're a little girl playing dress up.
Well, it sounds like a fun event for people that are friends to get together and do, mothers and daughters, sisters, all that, to come in and kind of share this experience with those people that you like to hang out with, just to have a fun kind of experience at the center. But tell us about your story about how you got into doing this.
Sure. So like I mentioned, I've been dancing my whole entire life. So as a little girl, I was in dance classes, and then I was a cheerleader, and then I was on the dance line team in college. Like I've been doing a lot of movement. And then I, entered into my more adult life, and I had kids, and my kids were little. My kids were about 2 and 3. And I wanted them to take a dance class, because it's really good for kids for the same thing, to be in their bodies, to understand movement, to move around, and to get, having a different kind of outlet. So I went to the local rec center and I signed my kids up for a dance class, and they offer dance for kids, and it's Saturday morning. And I was like, that's perfect in our schedule. And I thought, gosh, it has been so long since I have taken a dance class. I should really see what's available, and I should take a dance class. So I looked at all the adult dance classes, and there was one class that fit in my schedule and my kids' schedule and our whole life, and it was a belly dance class. And I was like, well, why not? Let's see what happens. So I signed up. The first class was amazing. And they were getting ready for a performance, and they had a performance in a couple weeks. And I was like, I can do, it was a beginning class, but they were doing this performance. So I stood in the back and I was like, I'm going to learn this. Like I have all these, like, I've got some dance stuff. I can put this together. So within, a month of starting dance, I then performed, and then that created and connected to another part of me, which loves to perform. And so then I performed within a few weeks. I probably looked ridiculous because I really didn't know what I was doing. But that led to my journey. And then I started supporting the teacher and then helping the teacher. And then the rest is history.
Well, over the years, I've met several people that do belly dance, that love belly dance, and they just light up when they talk about it. You can see the passion and what they have for it and how much fun it is for them. And just to watch them get so excited to be able to do belly dance. And I know you did a small demonstration for a meeting that I had a month or so ago, and everybody gets into it. The beginning, they're a little hesitant on what does this mean? What is this going to look like? And within a few minutes, everybody's kind of doing it and getting into it with no judgment, no criticism, just moving your body and having lots and lots of fun. I love the fact that you do really well at that. So people don't have to be hesitant or scared. It really does work really well.
Well, and getting people out of our brains and our heads and having fun and playing is so important. It's especially important right now as things feel super stressful, or everything feels stressful, right? But giving ourselves permission to play and to be silly. Like last night, we had a class last night. And we were laughing so hard. We were having so much fun. And to get to be in community and in circle and connection with other women, and men too, I have had men come, is just really amazing and awesome. So it really is about having fun, getting in your body. If you learn some new things and some skills and ability to connect with parts of our bodies that we're sometimes not connected with because we hold judgment or shame on ourselves, it's a wonderful way to just break through a bunch of stuff.
Well, you talk about belly yoga, combining two different systems together. So what does that really mean and look like, belly yoga?
So this actually came after a good friend of mine who actually also practices a practice called laughter yoga, which is a way for us really to connect with laughing and moving our body and breath work to laugh and then enjoy and play with ourselves. And so that was actually the inspiration. And I was actually at a retreat. And we started, and I was teaching a dance class. And as we started playing with this laughter yoga, and then it was like, wait a minute, what are the other things in this belly dance in which I was doing some performance and I was teaching people how to perform, which is a whole other awesome skill set. But being in our bodies and laughing and breathing and dancing to fun music, finding those songs that we loved when we were, growing up, that we would dance joyfully and playfully without judgment because we were in our room listening to music as teenagers or junior high kids, and really pulling out all these magic things, being in our body, breathing, connecting, being joyful, listening to fun music, and just it's like a slumber party. My classes and belly yoga is like a slumber party for adults.
Well, we used to have a practitioner center that did laughter yoga. And if you've never experienced laughter yoga, you should really go and try it. Now, what's interesting is she would come and teach laughter yoga, and she'd be way in the back of the center in a classroom, and we could hear the laughter all the way up to the front of the center, and all of us would laugh right along with them because laughter is contagious. And once somebody starts really laughing, you can't help but laugh too. So we always loved being there during the days that she was teaching laughter yoga, and everybody always came in one energetic way, and they always left in this very high healing type of energy, because laughter raises your vibration and puts you in a whole different mental state. So being able to have fun and laugh is so important for all of us health-wise, and it really does help. So I can imagine laughing and doing belly dancing and community and having that friendship how much fun and energizing it can be to gather around and be together to be able to do that. So I think that would be amazing. So you talk about energy flow work. So what does that mean when we start to get energy moving?
So in our bodies, and we talk about that's a lot in my classes, is that we are constantly taking energy in and pushing energy out. And how we know where that is in our body and how we feel that in our body can really shift the way that we show up in the world. So if it's showing up at the grocery store, when we walk into a grocery store and we feel overwhelmed, or if we're going out for a walk in nature, how we're communing with what's around us and how we're connecting to that in our body can be very life-changing and can be really alternating for our bodies. And again, we mostly in our world today get so stuck in our head and our brain and our phones, and we really lose connection and ability to even know what's happening in the rest of our body. And that just leads to greater balance in our lives.
And awareness too, because when we start really connecting to our body and being aware that energetically something shift, or there's a pain that I've never felt before, or just being aware as we move our body, how it's being affected and what's happening differently, can be really powerful. That awareness is always the first step on your body's trying to tell you something. And if you're really listening, it can provide you some really good information.
Yeah, and it just allows us to connect. I think there's so much stuff that as we become more and more, like as computers start to be able to do more and more things like processing and all those things that, computers are amazing, right? But we're getting away from so many things that we used to naturally as human beings and our bodies do. If that was going and gardening and tilling the soil, right? Like it goes back to these really simple things. But being in our bodies, and if we can trick our bodies into those things, we're just getting connected.
The kitty wants to be in the show too.
Oh yeah, she thinks that Zoom calls are for her. So, so the other fun thing though is you get to exercise and you don't even feel it. Like I can't tell you how many times people leave a class or leave X and they're like, "Oh, I'm actually like tired, and wow, that was a cardio workout." But because it's playful, because it's fun, because we're doing stuff, we're not thinking about how far we're running. We're connecting and moving and having fun. And you don't realize that you're getting a good workout too. So that's my favorite. But that's probably my favorite thing about it all, is that people are like, "Wow, that was a workout."
Well, I just think your personality and your fun energy makes anything fun that you're doing. I think people love to hang out with you because you're just this bubbly, fun ball of energy that everybody kind of connects to. So even if you're having a down day, just go to belly dancing with Jessica. You'll leave in a much better spirit and very happily too, because she just uplifts everyone around her. So we love that about you. So thank you for coming today and sharing some of your information. You can definitely discover your spiritual gifts for the belly dance classes. I won't give dates or how often they are because, life changes, and no matter when you're listening to it, it could be different at that time. But Jessica also offers packages at a discount. So if you want to buy a group of sessions, you can also do that and pick up a package from her. And then you can come several times in the month and come and see her. So belly dancing has really grown at the center. People are loving it. So thanks for offering it.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's also just creating and connecting with people that may have not thought that it was even something that they like, and they try it and they just love it and can't wait to come back. So it's been a joy to get to play in the space.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for checking it out. If you don't live in Denver or South Denver, get out there and look for a belly dance class or even laughter yoga and check it out and try it somewhere close to home. You will not be sad that you checked it out. You'll be glad that you did. So thank you for listening to our podcast today.
Violet, I'm going to plug one more thing, and Bella wants everybody to know this too, that I have offered it and I have set up in our class a Zoom link and done it via Zoom too. And it's been super successful. So if anyone is really interested, contact me and we will make that happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So see, you can even do it on Zoom from wherever you are, depending on the time frame, right? Some of us don't want to get up at 3 a.m. depending on where you live, but we do offer it on Zoom as well. And if that doesn't work, check it out in your local area. Find something that gets you moving again and joyful and happy. Jessica, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me today.
Of course.
You and Bella both. The kitty, I see kind of her head and ears. There she is. She's like, wait a minute, I want to be on there too. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please like, comment, and follow us on your favorite platform. We'd love to see you in the future. And I hope you have a sacred and magical week.
Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email. Vialet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.